Your home insurance rate might be going up this year after a series of costly weather events right across Canada. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says 2024 was the single most expensive year on record for insurance payouts in Canada, totaling $8.5 billion. So what does all this mean for homeowners, and is there anything you can do about it? To help answer that, I'm joined by Craig Stewart, Vice President, Climate Change and Federal Issues at the Insurance Bureau of Canada. He joins us from Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia this morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
So of that $8.5 billion, three most expensive weather events were the Jasper wildfire, that cost $1.1 billion, the Calgary hailstorm, man, I remember those pictures, that cost $3 billion, and the aftermath of Hurricane Debbie, that landed at $2.7 billion. Can you, Craig, take us through each of them and describe for us what made them so expensive?
So we'll start with the Hurricane Debbie event. It was the scope of the event. I mean, much of southern Quebec was hit by 150 to 200 millimeters of rain last July when the remnants of Hurricane Debbie passed through. It just dumped an incredible amount of water on southern Quebec, and so that's what led to the damages. The claims weren't huge; they were $30,000, $40,000 on average, but there was just so many of them that led to the losses. Then you get to the Jasper wildfire, which got the majority of the media attention, but was one of the smaller events, actually. And the Jasper wildfire, luckily, Jasper had taken measures to fire smart the community. We got away. Only a third of the town burned. Quite possibly, we could have lost the whole thing, but thanks to first responders, managed to save most of it. And that led to about $1 billion in losses, and we're in the midst of a painful reconstruction there. And then the Calgary hailstorm, which was just an incredible event. 20-minute hailstorm, hailstones, 2 inches up to 2 inches in diameter, with heavy winds. So it just turned those hailstones into missiles and affected most of the northern part of the city. And that has now come in at over $3 billion, 130,000 claims in just 20 minutes.
Here's the part that's challenging for people: is if you live in one of those areas, but you didn't have a claim from any of these weather events, will your insurance rate go up?
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your insurance rate's probably not going down. What has happened is that pretty well every part of the country has been affected in recent years by one event or another. And Canada seems to be, prone to everything from hurricanes to hail, wildfire, flooding across most of the country. And what that means is that no place is really safe, and it's a riskier place to live, work, and insure. Reinsurers, global reinsurers, are taking a look at Canada and saying, like the U.S., we're seeing the risk rise here, and so that's driving insurance rates up, not just for those that have experienced a claim, but pretty much for everybody.
I guess a lot of homeowners are saying, this does not seem fair. I don't live in a flood zone. I am not in a town that almost burned down, and I didn't experience hail. So why is it that insurance companies raise those rates for everybody and maybe not just people in the high-risk zones?
Well, because what we've seen as high risk, and frankly, what we thought was high risk 10 years ago, is turning out, what we thought to be low risk is now turning out to be high risk. And the Quebec flood event's a great example of that. Many of those homes were low to medium risk homes, but it just seems that the heavens can open up and dump an enormous amount of water, no matter where you are. And even if you're on the side of the hill and not at the bottom of it, you're getting flooded because there's so much water running past your door. And that's the issue, is that insurers are not able to accurately model flood because the situation seems to be changing so rapidly. And that's why pretty well, almost everybody is exposed some way or another. Insurers will continue to insure those homes that aren't at the highest risk, those that they know are, it's an accident. It's probably not going to happen again in the near future. But the prices, unfortunately, are going up for everybody.
Well, I hate for you and I to both be the bearers of bad news, but it is good to have a strong dose of reality as we head into this year that is looking more and more expensive by the minute. Craig Stewart with the Insurance Bureau of Canada. Good to talk to you this morning.
Thanks, Anne-Marie.
If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.